beginning, jewelry has been used for a number of reasons such as currency, wealth display and storage, functional use like clasps, pins and buckles, for symbolism to show membership or status, for protection in the form of amulets and magical wards, or for the artistic display. Now it is adorned by one and all, no matter what age or gender, to decorate oneself to enhance their attires or facade. Her face is a face that would be very familiar to you. For many of us, she is a model whose face has been seen on countless fashion shows and has enormous coverage on television, newspapers and magazines featuring her in creations of both local and international fashion designers. Everyone from the fashion industry knows her for her exquisiteness that enhances their creations. Now, she has entered the fashion industry in a way you would not imagine.
I'm doing jewel art, more into sculptural, high-end costume jewelry, and it's very artistic pieces, and I go more on a nature design, inspired by nature, whatever we have here in the jungle, under the water, up on the sky, everywhere. Started about 1.5 years ago, so I still call myself a baby. Wow, it's just an excuse, you know. Actually, I still have a lot to learn, but I love doing it. It's my passion since my younger days. The love for flying and all that is still there. In fact, it's still there. Like I said, it's my best job. So I continue with my modeling. I still do traveling, and I do part-time flights, you know, with Air Atlanta and Malaysia Airlines. Continuing my hobbies, you know, go and explore all the places, you know. And what I did, I found nice pieces, but I have to buy like dozen. So I was saying, I want that piece, but I have to buy dozens. So what I do, okay, fine, I buy, you know. It's all not expensive pieces, it's all cheap pieces, but they are really, really nice, you know. And what I do, I buy every single piece as in a dozen and come back and start to sell. And actually, my very, very first selling point is actually to all my colleagues, my model friends. And normally for models, you know, we go for a job, for a fashion show, we will carry one big bag as if the whole wardrobe we got to carry, you know, sometimes. And what I do, one bag with shoes and makeup, another bag with my accessories that I bought, you know. So I'll pick everything and put in my wardrobe, and whatever I do not want, I sell it. So what I do, we call it Malaysian style of pasar malam backstage. Maybe a lot of people do not know that modeling is a fantastic job, my second best job ever, and but it's full of waiting. We all models, we have ample of time backstage, honestly. So you can do whatever you want and all that. So what I did, okay, while waiting for makeup, you know, waiting for our turns and all that, okay, here we go, pasar malam, you know, so everybody will buy from the models, makeup artists, helpers backstage, you know, it's a lot of fun actually. So from there, I start to realize, well, actually, you know, there is something that I should really think about. After getting a very, very good response, you know, and everybody will appreciate the stuff, the pieces. So I start to be more serious about it, you know, start carrying 2 bags every time for shows until, you know, they all know me that I will definitely have pasar malam. Well, that's how it started actually. So I shall say that my very, very first customer actually are the models.
As stated by Suhara, accessory is all about making a statement. She began designing her jewel for pure pleasure, but turned it into a business vision. She made her vision into a reality. Her dedication and love for her art can truly be seen in every single piece of her creation. Every piece, every detail speaks for itself. Elements such as earth, water, and the gentle wind is a foundation to her diverse creations.
After receiving a very good response backstage and all that, so a lot of friends suggested to me, why don't I go into weekend bazaars, weekend market. So I decided to start at Mont Kiara weekend market. And normally it's every alternate Sundays, or sometimes they have it Saturday, Sundays. So okay, I want to give it a try. It was a very good start actually. I would really suggest to those who really want to start doing a business to start with this kind of bazaar. Okay, I still do my modelling at that time. So sometimes I do my shows and the next day I'm in Mont Kiara. What happens sometimes is very, how shall I say, a bittersweet experience, whereby sometimes they just give, I still remember they give us a very uneven table. So every time I have to put something underneath so that it doesn't move like that. And with a small umbrella with hole. So can you imagine when it rains? And it's like, we are like, oh, everything wet and that kind of thing. But I take it as a hard way of learning. And at that time, I come across that people who knows me, that I'm doing modelling and that kind of thing, came to me and tell me, you are a model, isn't it? What are you doing here? It's like something, a model should not do. But I was thinking, what is wrong? What is wrong with it? Doesn't mean model cannot stand there and sell your product under the hot sun or under the rain. It doesn't matter. And I think all this experience, you can never ever buy it. From Mont Kiara Bazaar, a lot of people underestimate it's just a very low-class bazaar or whatever, And actually, from there, that all my doors start to open.
Suhara, the jewel art, is the conception of Suhara Omar. The name no longer is a stranger to us. In the world of fashion, local enthusiasts have found someone with a niche in the art of jewelry. Hence, the aptly named Suhara, the jewel art.
Next one was Bangsa Shopping Centre. And this is also a very good place for us to start actually, because from there actually we expand the clientele base actually. So we've got all these high-end people, VVIPs, royalties who visit Bangsa Shopping Centre very regularly. So from there we continue with, from the weekend bazaar, we started to do festive promotion, on seasonal basis. I want to build up the brand, so I need to find a concept whereby people can identify the brand Suhara Jewel Art to my pieces or to the concept. We want it to be like, because the branding is all about emotion, so we had a lot of trial error. We discussed a lot, especially my husband is managing the business, so I learned a lot from him. And we developed this kind of emotion, romancing the customer, love affair, love affair, not between, the love affair between our customers and our pieces. So it's all more on a relationship base. So that from there actually we could see that we expand even more and more. I am very proud to say that people already identified the coral with Suhara Jewel Art. So everywhere I go, people will, or anybody, any of the celebrities or VIPs or working class people, whoever wear it, people identified it as Suhara Jewel Art. So I think it's a really great achievement within 1.5 years.
Suhara was born in Ipoh, Perak Darul Rizwan. She, however, was brought up in Kuala Lumpur. Growing up, Suhara lost her parents at a very early age and was practically brought up by her brother. She is the youngest of two, and she was brought up with lots of love and had a good childhood. Her brother remains one of her pillars of strength until today. Later, she met her husband, and he has been by her side, lovingly supporting her every move in this field.
My parents are no longer alive. My brother is actually the one went through a lot with me after our parents passed away, and I guess he knows me well. He knows that I am in a family. Me and my brother, we are very opposite of each other. So I am the bad one, the stubborn one, so, and very determined. Whatever I want to do, whatever I want, I must get it, that kind of attitude that I have. Honestly, we started, like I said, my capital was not money. The capital is purely sincerity. Maybe to the people out there cannot understand why I say this, but I'm talking whatever I say, whatever I share with you now is purely based on my experience. We did not, honestly, I don't feel shame to say that we did not have money. We are not in a position that we can just spend lavishly, or use this as a capital for the business. No, definitely no. Like I said, once you have the sincerity and honesty, all the doors keep opening.
I look at her just like a normal child. But one thing, there is a little bit stubborn inside her. Okay, whatever you say cannot, she want to do, especially related to girls things, What I can remember when people ask her what you want to be, she said she want to fly, and she want to fly to become a stewardess. She just like last time when she was about 10 years old. Actually, our mother didn't allow her to have a long hair, everything, But she liked to have a long hair. What she did, she take a towel, put on the head, and then pretending like a long hair, and then start walking. Our father passed away when she in Form 5. Okay, so the burden is on me. She's an ambitious person. Okay, when I look at her, whatever she want to do, especially related to career, okay, she just do it. Something I did respect about her. She told me she want to do some business, all this jewelry business. She learned a lot from her husband and gained her experience. When I look at her jewelry, before this I didn't bother about all these things, all these ladies thing for me. I see something different from other jewelry that used to be in a normal jewelry shop. That means something new that she can offer to the buyer. So I'm not surprised what she's doing now, because I can see from during school time. So she start to wearing all these funny necklace to collect and keep it on her own.
During her flying days, living away from home lengthy periods at a time, Suhara and the crewmates forged a relationship akin to her family. Flying together, spending time together, relying on each other, this relationship bonded the ladies. No amount of space nor time could ever break down.
Ambitious person, very ambitious, organized, and sometimes can be very sensitive. But yet, she's a friend that you can rely on. Something like if you have a problem or that.
She's a good listener.
Yes.
She's a good
Helpful,
friend, very
yeah.
helpful. And then
Very focused.
when I was sick, one time I was really sick. I couldn't talk. You know what I did? I called her and then I just scratched the phone, and then she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I just tapped and scratched." And then she came back right after work. She came back, she fetched me, and then we just go to the clinic.
We never thought that she can become an entrepreneur like now.
She's
Not at
still
all.
the same Suhara that we used to see.
She's still down to earth.
Yeah.
But yet I can see that she's more matured.
Something different from the rest of the jewelry that you see in market, that kind of thing.
It's not mass production that you only can find from her. Yeah.
Whatever it is,
Very dedicated, yeah.
The most important thing is she's still the same Suhara that we used to know her,
Yeah.
13 years.
I think about 11 years.
11
yeah.
years.
At one look, you may think that her designs will have an effect only on those in their 20s to 30s. However, her appeal extends to those older as her designs crosses the border with ease. After her world premiere showcasing event at a prominent hotel, her designs were displayed in an audience which included VVIPs from Malaysian royalty and ministers and their wives. Her contemporary yet eloquent jewellery pieces have reached the collections of famous popular Malaysian artists such as Anita Sarawak, Era Fazira and many more.
Bumped into, they had a promotion stall in Bangsa Shopping Centre. And at that time, it wasn't she. I didn't meet her first. I met her husband first, Adam. And he was nervously managing the store by himself. And I was attracted to the pieces. On another visit, when I met Suhara and Adam again, they explained to me their concept of their very artistic jewellery. I've selected some nice pieces actually, like this one, you're having a look at it, and this one. Well, Suhara's art jewellery are very creative, they're very original and very innovative. I like them because I find them very attractive, and artistically created, the artistry in it really appeals to me. I like that sort of nothing, not too elaborate, and there's a theme behind it. She's a very nice girl. She's so friendly, She's very friendly and very warm person. And I'm sure all this is reflected in her pieces, in her art pieces. I think that there is